If you buy a Ugandan Rolex and cut it up to share with friends, you are already doing the math of fractions, decimals, and percentages. They are simply three different ways of describing the exact same portion of a whole. Take one piece of that Rolex cut into 4 equal slices. You've taken a fraction of it, 1/4. But that exact same slice can be written as a decimal, 0.25. And as a percentage, it is exactly 25% of your meal. To switch between these formats, we use a simple set of rules. For instance, moving from a decimal to a percentage is as easy as multiplying the decimal value by 100. Fractions have 2 parts. Think of a taxi in this crowded Matatu park. The denominator is the bottom number. It tells you the taxi's total capacity, like 14 seats. The numerator is the top number. It tells you how many passengers are currently inside. Knowing how to seamlessly translate between these 3 formats allows you to calculate discounts in a market or figure out crop yields on a farm. It is the core mathematical tool for everyday business. Let's look closer at that conversion rule. To turn any decimal into a percentage, you multiply it by 100. But be careful. If you multiply 1.5 by 100, it is tempting to just add 2 zeros at the end. That is incorrect. Multiplying by 100 physically moves the decimal point 2 places to the right, giving us 150%. This brings us to another common trap, comparing the size of decimals. At a glance, 0.15 looks larger than 0.4 because 15 is bigger than 4. But if you align the decimal points vertically and fill the empty space with a 0, you see that 40 hundredths is clearly larger than 15 hundredths. Visually aligning your decimal points and actively tracking the decimal movement, rather than just reading the raw digits, is the only sure way to accurately compare and convert these values. We also need to distinguish between 2 types of decimals. On the left, we have terminating decimals, like 0.25, which have a clear end. On the right are recurring decimals, like 0.333 repeating forever. We compress that endless pattern by placing a dot or a bar over the repeating digit. To use a recurring decimal in a practical equation, we have to convert it back into a fraction. We do this using a 3-step algebraic method. Step 1, we establish a baseline variable. Let x equal 0.444 repeating. Step 2, because exactly 1 digit repeats in this pattern, we multiply both sides of that equation by 10. This creates a new line. 10x equals 4.444 repeating. Step 3. Stack the equations and subtract the first from the second. The infinite repeating decimals cancel each other out perfectly. 10x minus x leaves 9x, equal to 4. Divide by 9 to get 4/9. Pause the video right here. Try using this exact same 3-step method to convert the recurring decimal 0.7 repeating into a fraction. Here's the correct working. You set x to 0.7 repeating, multiply both sides by 10, subtract your original equation, and solve for x. You should end up with 7/9. This method takes an infinitely repeating, chaotic number and locks it down into a clean, precise fraction that we can easily use for real calculations. Let's test everything in a single real-world scenario. A farmer in Jinja harvests 1,200 kilograms of maize. He needs to divide it among a school, his family, and the local market, and we have to interpret the different numeric formats to find his totals. First, he sells 1/3 of the harvest to a school. We calculate this by dividing the total, 1,200 kilograms, into 3 equal parts. One of those parts leaves us with 400 kilograms for the school. That leaves 800 kilograms. Of this remaining amount, he keeps 25% for his family. We know 25% converts directly to a fraction of 1/4. 1/4 of 800 gives us 200 kilograms kept for the family. With 400 kilograms to the school and 200 kept for the family, we subtract that total of 600 from the original harvest. He sells the final remaining 600 kilograms at the market. This chart shows the 3 golden rules we've covered today. First, physically move the decimal point when converting to a percentage. Second, align those decimal points vertically to compare values. And third, use algebraic subtraction to lock down a recurring decimal. Mastering fractions, decimals, and percentages ensures you can calculate any discount, portion, or profit. It is your ultimate toolkit for speaking the universal language of value with absolute confidence.